Today, this is the General Motors Hydromatic division where they make automatic transmissions. It was a much different place 58 years ago.
This is the story of Willow Run, one of the Ford farms that virtually overnight became the largest aircraft plant that had ever been built.
Men and women working side by side made the B-24 Liberator.
This great aircraft is 110 feet from wingtip to wingtip and 67 feet 4 inches from nose to tail. Powered by 4 1,200 horsepower air-cooled engines, the lift can carry 10 men, 4 tons of bombs, and 5,000 rounds of machine gun ammunition at better than 300 miles per hour at high altitude.
I worked there from the time it was built till it closed. And I saw everybody come in and I saw everybody go out.
Barney Hughes and his buddies meet every morning at Tucker's Cafe in downtown Ypsilanti. Many at the table worked at Willow Run. We know women worked at the plant, but midgets?
There were some places that were so small that they hired as many midgets as they could, so that they could get back into places that nobody else could get, and they would rivet and do metal work and so forth. Yeah.
Until the Second World War, most women stayed at home and the men worked. But most eligible men were off serving their country, so the women had to build the planes.
They hired women of all ages. They had the older women, gray-haired women, in the tool cribs. They could hand out tools. In fact, my mother worked out there for 2 years.
America's symbol for women working the factories was Rosie the Riveter. Rosie was created by Hollywood to use in their propaganda films. But did you know Rosie was really Rose Monroe from Science Hill, Kentucky? She worked at the Willow Run plant. Thousands of women from Tennessee and Kentucky went to Ypsilanti to work. The money was good and they could do their part. Rose Monroe died a couple years ago, but her memory, like those other hardworking souls, will live forever. Joe Orlando, News Channel 32, WLKY.
We used to have a lot of fun in that old house.
That's probably where we live.
Yeah.
Ann Barnes and Polly Maxwell's friendship started 55 years ago. These two girls from Tennessee met for the first time when they both worked at the Willow Run plane factory during the Second World War. Ann settled here in Louisville after the war. She could handle a power tool, but she wasn't a riveter like Rosie the Riveter, who too was from our area. Ann's job was a lot less glamorous.
Well, at first I worked, they called it the boots, put the boots on the airplane. I wasn't a riveter. But then after a while I installed the cups, the barf cups.
The what?
Barf cups. They didn't have restrooms in the B-24s.
Ann and Polly weren't old enough to vote in 1942, but they could build warplanes.
I think we lived in apartments next to each other, and we just started running around together. She had a cousin and I had a cousin. We all ran around together. And I was the stable one, and I had to take care of them.
Ann and Polly were adventurers, hundreds of miles from home for the first time and on their own.
In fact, we hitchhiked to work a lot of mornings because we'd get up late. And it was okay, it was safe to hitchhike back in those days. Don't tell my kids that.
They had their fun, but it was hard work, 6 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day.
I just know we went there and we worked hard and we went home. You didn't have time to socialize in the plant or anything because you just did your job.
Veterans Day is upon us, and even though neither Polly nor Ann fought in the war, they contributed and should also be recognized for their efforts.
Special.
Why?
Well, I lived that time. You know, I was there. It brings back good memories and bad memories.
Thanks, Polly. Thanks, Ann. From Southeast Jefferson County, Joe Orlando, News Channel 32, WLKY.